Anthony here, and thank you so much for checking out this video. So I posted in the SketchMonkey community about if you guys want feedback on your sketches, you can just post it in there and I will take it and make a YouTube video out of it and try to tweak it a little bit. So we got a few sketches already. So I'm gonna start with this one from Kartik. I hope I pronounced your name right. He posted this truck in there. And what I really like about this sketch is the line quality. It's really clean lines. And it looks like you have confidence in your lines, in the line sketching. So that's good. There are, however, some problems with the perspective of this sketch. So that's what we're gonna try and work on right now. So I even brought out my old Wacom Intuos 3 from 2007. And this thing still works. It's amazing. It does have some weird issues with the cable here. It looks like the cable is gonna explode any second now. But as long as it's working, I'm happy. So I'm gonna use that to give you feedback on this sketch. So I made a area right here where we're gonna sketch on. And as I said, I haven't used this tablet for a long time, so don't judge my sketching right now because it's probably not going to be that good. So the thing about this truck here is that we have two sections of this truck. So we have the basically the first part being this the loading stuff or whatever this is called, the rear part, and then we have the front, which is right here. The problem with the sketch here though is that they are not in the same perspective. If I were to just crop this sketch even further, so let's make a big one like this. So if we have these lines here, if we make a few lines going from this, you see we're gonna follow this line right there. That will be the vanishing point of this. Let's make it red so you can see it better. Stroke path, if I remember correctly. And then we have the second line, which is right here, which should go to the same point, which is up there, if they were in the same perspective. But we can see here that this line is actually going over here. So it's not hitting the same vanishing point. And that means that this front part here is actually turned towards us. And maybe that's your intention. But if I look at the sketch, it looks like you want to have it be the same perspective as the rear part. So what I would do, let's just remove these. What I would do to fix this, the perspective of the sketch, is I would probably go back to basics and just sketch two different what's it called? Let's raise up this desk a little bit. Just make it two different. If you don't have the perspective basics down yet, I think that would be number one to practice on, to sketch. Just make a few boxes in perspective until you feel confident with freestyling the perspective. You might want to start by adding a grid line and all of that before you jump into freestyling. And then I want to keep the same perspective, so I want to keep the lines almost parallel here and just continue with the front part as well. So you want to keep it real simple before you start adding details. This is not exactly the same perspective as you did it in, but you gotta have a vanishing point in your head, in your mind. Where are these lines? These lines that go here, this one, this one, this one, and that one, they should all point to the same point in the distance, all right? So it's gonna be up here somewhere, right? They're all gonna meet somewhere up here. Right here we have them pointing at different directions. So this is pointing like that, and then this has an angle to it like this, and this has another angle to it. So I think that's the problem with this sketch. Let's see if we can raise this up like that. Pick black again. And from here, I think you have the wheels right. The wheels are correct in perspective. So we just want to add those. See if I can do it myself. One, you have another one right here. And one at the front as well. And from here, we have the basics down now. So we kind of, from here we can go into as much details as we want. We can add, we can start constructing the loading part right here. We can add this thing that you have on your sketch. Add some thickness to it if we want to do that. And we can even start to design this front. We can maybe make a radius up here, radius here. Maybe we can even make a radius down here, just to have a bit of a smoother transitions. Something like that. I don't know how trucks, what they look like really, but I think you get the point. The main idea here is to just start with basic shapes, blocks and cylinders and whatever you need to get the perspective right. Because if you start adding details and the perspective is off, there is not really any way for you to fix the sketch, if that makes sense, because the fundamentals are not correct. So get the fundamentals down first by adding, by always keeping in mind where the vanishing point is, and then you have all the lines going to that point. And now I kind of want to define this a bit more here. Looks like a weird duck nose or something like that. But I think you get the point. And if I remember correctly, you are a member of the Sketch Monkey in the members area. So if you haven't checked out Design Sketching Blueprints yet, which is a course of mine, and you want to learn the basics of design sketching, which is basically this: how to get the perspective right and how to get the simple geometries correct before you start adding details. That's what that course is all about. So if you want to check that out, you can do that. It's on the sketchmonkey.com. And then we can add some details like that. So this is obviously not perfect either, but it's fixable as you go. I can fix this sketch as I go now, because if the fundamentals are there and the perspective is kinda correct. So that's about it. That was the first sketch, and I do have another one from Sharma here. He created this cool red sports car. It looks really cool. I like these shades here and the reflections in the body of the car. There are some things that you can improve on, definitely. So first of all, I'm kind of confused where the light source is coming from in this sketch. My guess is that it's coming from, let's see if we can make a color that you can see. I'm guessing that it's coming from here. Right there. Because we have the light here and here, 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 and there. But then I see that this part right here, which feels to me that it's facing towards that side, that has a darker reflection on it. What I would do if the light source, to keep the light source consistent, is to let's select this, and let's pick the same color here and make a new layer so I don't mess up your sketch too much. Maybe have the same kind of reflection on the same surfaces that are facing the same direction. That could be one thing that you could adjust on this sketch, just to think about where the light source is coming from. And also add some more details to add some cut lines, for example. Cut lines make a big difference. So if we go in and go in here, we can add add some highlights to this sketch and burn points and stuff like that, just to make it look less like a model car and more like a real car. And we can add some, oh, that's not what I want to do. I forgot the short commands for this. Photoshop, it's been too long. So we can add like a door line here, because this door line is going to help people understand the shape of the car, since the cut line is actually following the shape, right? So that could be one thing that you can add. And since we have the light source coming from up here, that means that this part of the line, this side of the line, is going to get hit by the light. So we're going to add some highlight to that side. And the wheels as well, we could make some tire, we can make kind of, show some of the tires by just creating something like this. And we can select, let's see, airbrush. Where is airbrush? I think it's this one, right? Just a, simple touch like that to give it some we can actually copy this just to save some time. Adjust it and make the same thing for the rear right there. And if you want to add more reflections to this car, you can do that as well. So let's add, let's pick the airbrush, and we can go over. Actually, let's see. That one is up there. And you can start to play around with the reflections of maybe make some sharp reflections if you want to do that, or if you want to have smoother reflections, you can always use the airbrush to delete whatever you don't need of this reflection. So you can pick the airbrush as an eraser and just give it some more life by simply adding some more reflections to it. Doesn't have to be too complicated. I can do the same here. Let's see if this is the right one. Nope, it's this one. Just play around with it and have fun. What else? We can add some reflections to the window as well. So let's add some white up here. That looks cool. something like that. And this grill, you can add some grill to this sketch if you want to do that. And by that I mean add some cut lines. Think about all the different parts that go in a car and then try to sketch every single little detail of it. So we probably have something going inside here. I don't know what what your idea is of what this is supposed to be, but we can add some maybe some air intake in the front here. Something like this. And then this whole black part down here, we can do something with that. My guess is that it's something like that. It goes in here, so this whole part here can be we can put some airbrush shading on that. So let's see, pick the airbrush. And then I just like to do it like this. You can obviously select the surface that you want to sketch on, but I like to use the eraser to delete whatever I don't need, because I don't know, it just gives me more control, and it feels like it's just more sketchy feeling to the rendering. It's not too like stale or stiff or whatever. And we can maybe, let's see. And use the airbrush. Jump back and forth between airbrush and a hard eraser. And we have some interesting looking air intake here. And since we have an edge here, I'm gonna add a highlight to it. So just add a white highlight with a regular Photoshop brush that goes, and then we have a burn point down here maybe. Burn points are where the highlight is the strongest, so you're gonna add some thicker white line to that part. And you can add that wherever you want. It doesn't really have to be on a specific area, but generally it is in the corners and so on. I'm adding some highlights to the light as well. So those are a few things that you can do to your sketch to make it come alive more. And you can start to, you know, go crazy if you want to do that and add some more shading to your design. Just think about where the light source is coming from all the time, and that's going to help you understand where to put the darker shades and where to put the lighter ones as well. Just adding some random reflections here. It doesn't have to be anything specific. Just try and see if you like it, then keep it. If you don't like it, then just, especially if you're doing digital, you have the luxury of being able to delete whatever you don't need. So you can always go back. Same thing here. These are just black holes, so we might want to add some interesting, or just make it, you know, more detailed by adding something like that. Doesn't have to be more than this, just a white line down here to make it look like it's some plastic or something that's been put inside of the body of the car. Maybe we can work a little bit more on reflections like these. Yeah, so that's about it for this sketch. We can see I think this is, so this is the before And then this right here is the after. Basically add some details. Think about the reflections. If you want it to be glossy, it obviously depends if you wanted the car to be glossy or matte. That's gonna the reflections are gonna be different for a matte car than if you have a glossy car, obviously. If you have a glossy car, you kind of want to use the sharper reflections, and by sharper I mean reflections that have a defined border like this one right here. And if you're using a matte surface, you kind of want to stick to airbrush reflections like this one right here. And that's about it, I think, for this sketch. I hope it made sense, and I hope it actually made some improvements to this sketch. I'm gonna keep doing these videos. I have a few more. I saw a few more people posted in the group. That's really cool. I look forward to sketch over your sketches and try to give you some feedback. I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.